Welcome to Morocco. We're about to step into something truly special.
This has been the most extreme shooting, crazy environment I've ever been in.
This is Koudia Estate, where we're gonna be shooting Barbary Partridges. They're fast, they're agile,
Holy Jesus.
and although they inhabit all kinds of terrain, we were gonna be shooting them in the dry, rocky foothills of the Atlas Mountains.
Welcome to Morocco, guys. I mean, look at this. What is that?
We've got 2 days of driven birds on this stunning shoot.
I'd say that was the most impressive display of partridges I've ever seen. Yeah, I'd agree.
Just a short drive from Marrakesh. This is a trip I'll never forget.
Welcome to the foothills of the Atlas Mountains. I can safely say this was not on my lifetime bingo card list of places to go and shoot. And I was a little apprehensive when coming out here because it's Morocco, it's potentially going to be just another barren valley to go and shoot in. But this is stunning. We've seen all manner of plants and birds already, and I am excited to get a gun and go and stand in some of these valleys. We're after Barbary Partridge today, which is a different kind of bird. If you've never heard of them, it's definitely worth a bit of research. I was lucky enough to work out here for a bit and I fell in love with these little birds. They fly like nothing else in the world. I'm excited. Some of you may know I used to live out here. Very different place to this. Let's get started, shall we?
Today, I was part of a roving syndicate team put together by William Powell Sporting, who exclusively handled the lettings on the estate. This meant that most of us didn't really know each other before arriving today. Luckily, we had a bit of time before the safety briefing to drink a coffee or a specially imported sloe gin, to chat away with our fellow guns whilst enjoying the view. Soon enough though, it was time to meet our loaders, get in the cruisers, and head to the first drive.
I mean, usually a drive would take a while to get going, but they're flying off a bank 800 yards away. Oh, wow. I told you, these birds fly unlike anything you've ever seen. They just commit. It's almost like a half grey, half pheasant. All right, we've got one in the bank. There we go. Second bird of the day. Pressure's up. I mean, this is a warm-up drive.
The beaters on the left, look how far away they are now.
Yeah, I mean, these beaters, we've seen them coming in from like a couple of kilometres away.
It's more like a grouse drive than a traditional pheasant or partridge drive. They brought in a lot of ground.
With on ground like this, proper wild ground, you don't have much of a choice. They're living as part of the environment, which makes them all the more wild feeling, you know?
Yeah.
And it's something that I really admire about an environment like this is you could look at it and feel it's quite barren, but actually when you start looking, there's all kinds of things that do survive here. We're just nervous about missing one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Here you go. Nice, second barrel. It's your first Barbary Partridges in the bank. How do you feel?
Beautiful. Ah, elated.
Bang. Nice. Shoot. Oh. So I shot the original Princeps. This is the new Princeps. What are you calling it?
Princeps Extra.
Princeps Extra.
Yeah, it's just the Princeps with a few extras, colour case hardening, boss style fore end.
Which I think is the key here, right? Because you're actually adding quite a few grams between your hands, and what makes this gun handled like a real premium
Exhibit A
gun. I don't know if I've been happier than this for a while on game.
I'd say you're under 2-1 at the moment, to be honest.
On a normal day.
I don't think they're going to get any lower from here.
How do we get on?
Those birds are just special, aren't they?
They're cool, really cool.
Yeah.
Here you get a lovely variety, and actually through the line you get something a little bit different for everyone.
Yeah.
Watching them come from 800 yards and just stick it over the horizon.
And also not settling on, as you say, not settling onto that ridge. They're going.
They keep going.
They're going for one behind.
They fly as hard as any bird in the world. They really are.
Different gravy.
Different gravy.
Whilst the guys picked our game, we walked back to the trucks with smiles abound on our faces, all very ready for the second drive.
Welcome to the second drive. So the first drive was what they're calling a steady drive. It wasn't steady. There was birds coming in left, right, centre from everything from 25 to 60 yards. These Barbary Partridge really are like an exceptional sporting bird. And the second drive, we're stepping up a little bit, but third, fourth and fifth, we're going to be shooting some of the big mountains on the back, and it's going to be a bit more humbling. It's a different environment. There's a lot of nerves going on, and when you then actually really connect with the gun, that's a great thing. And I got on really well with the Princeps Mark 1 or not Deluxe or whatever they're going to decide to call this beast. But this one with that boss fore end, it's got a bit more mid-weight, it's got the fin fore end, the whole thing. It's a little bit more front heavy than I sort of like on paper, but actually that weight out the front is still between your hands, and so I found it so steady to move, but still super quick. You can rotate it around its axis on that sort of 20-yard birds. At this point, I don't really care how I shoot it for the rest of the day, and I'm going to say that just in case it does fall off a cliff, which it does quite regularly, right, Sash?
Little did I know how true that statement was going to be. But not before I managed to take a monster crosser out the front.
Oh, Tom, I think you made a really good gun.
As the drive began, so different was every bird that I really started struggling to read their line and speed. In need of a break before frustration set in, I handed the gun off to Tom.
Yeah, I didn't expect this drive to be quite this crazy, so I've just given the gun to Tom because I just missed 4 in a row, and they were pearlers, but... Just watching them come over, I need to calm down. To do with watching some actually get shot.
It seemed that Tom couldn't find him either. So we drafted in Ollie, the sporting agent who brought us here, who coincidentally is a top game shot.
I mean, I can't shoot it, can't shoot these birds. Mate, this is incredible.
It's not one of the sort of signature high drives, but as you say, you come into this not expecting a lot, but actually they're getting up from well back.
And it doesn't need to be high to be testing.
Exactly, right. And they've got that real sort of desire to climb and fly hard. We're doing quite a bit of work to open up a number more drives like this, just so, you know, when we get onto the high drives later on, you'll see that they're possibly not everybody's cup of tea.
With a better understanding of where I was going wrong, I picked the gun back up and got at him.
Back home, when that partridge goes, it tends to be fairly set on where it's going.
Yeah, it's going A to B across a short valley.
Definitely.
Here, it's like shooting wild birds. Like grouse, they can go anywhere.
Yeah.
And they do. Like, it's rare to see any reared and released bird turn 90 degrees in the air and go, nope, that doesn't look nice.
I'm off over here, actually.
Any bird could be your bird.
Yeah.
As we sauntered back to the vehicles for 11s, my mind was racing through each of the hits and misses, trying to figure out how best to approach the next drive. It transpired that any amount of processing wouldn't help with what was to come. The aptly named Berge, which roughly translates as tower.
I am as happy as a boy could possibly be. I'm aware that often our jobs take us to some pretty curious places.
This is up there.
I think this could be top 3 ever.
Yeah. I think one of the guys that came out to photograph it before said it was like shooting on the moon.
This place is an interesting environment. I studied wildlife management at college, don't you know? But generally the ecology of this place is sick. And then the fact that these birds live here, and as we found on the last ride, they're little bags of muscle. We'll show you one later. They are
hardy little buggers.
We watched one earlier take 6 shots before it fell.
Yeah, I think this should be on everybody's bucket list, to be honest.
Changed up the specs. The ones with a bit more lead require a bit more sight picture. Driven shooting is an interesting thing because sometimes it can be a bit too takey, right? Yeah. It's a foregone conclusion.
You know exactly what it's going to be.
It transpires with these birds that there is none. We've got a huge amount in front of us. We're back gun, but like a proper back gun, we're what, 80, 90 yards behind the line?
And below.
And a good 20 yards below.
Yeah.
If a bird sticks it from there, I think we're going to get some
interesting,
extremely challenging challenges.
Yeah.
Never have I been so happy to watch somebody else shoot first.
I was hit.
That is coming down.
These birds were just as varied as the last drive, but were much, much higher.
Perfectly killable. It's only like really fast and high. Get it. More. That was curling well more down, I think, than you thought behind the gun.
Was it? Yeah.
It's real easy back here. The fact we've got a flank out to our left, bringing them in and actually turning them as they're shooting half a mile over there and turning them around the line.
Those guys are on top of the mountain and these guys are level with us. And
what's that, a mile? Oh, it's a kilometre away easily.
Serious beating.
Big boys. More. That was in the right ballpark. The second shot.
After Tom finally connected with a screamer,
shot.
He handed the gun to me for my taste of humiliation.
I don't think it's about even hitting these, but it'll be interesting to find out anything.
Look at this.
What is that? What is that?
Whether it was the intimidation of the birds coming from so far or so high, I do not know. but my heart was pumping from start to finish of my time behind the gun.
About 300 yards.
I just ripped it and hoped for that, but this is as extreme partridge shooting as you'll find anywhere in the world.
And with that, I was pretty happy that the drive was done, and it was nearly time for food.
I'd say that was the most impressive display of partridges I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'd agree.
My heart is still...
Yeah, mine's the same. I stopped shooting 10 minutes ago before you did, and it's yeah, still getting pretty tense.
I'd like to say that we both got one.
Humble.
We both hit some. I'm not sure I felt this electric for a little while. This place is incredible. But now it's time for lunch and community. And the fact that everyone has enjoyed themselves regardless of how we've shot, some significantly better than others. That's kind of what days like this are all about. I'm always cautious when somebody sells something as extreme or describes it as extra. This has been the most extreme shooting, crazy environment I've ever been in. Got 2 more drives in another day. For now it's lunch. Lunch will be good.
And lunch was good. The food is local and delicious, with enough salads, tagines and drinks to satisfy even me. Sat around the table, we talked about the morning, but also shared stories that bridged cultures, languages and generations, until finally it was time to be moved from the shade of the dining table and on to the 4th drive.
Well, we've gone from a mile behind the line to sitting just below the cliff face.
Quite an intimidating escarpment in front of us.
Well, I appreciate being 40 yards higher than them.
The boys down the bottom are a long way down from where we are.
But this is like snap shooting, but instead of trees,
there's rocks.
A cliff.
The old crystal thrown in.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We've got a cave in front of us that is an old fossil mine. You said you were going in.
We're not going in. There could be a bear in there.
There are bears in Morocco.
Unfortunately, our fascinating discussion whilst exploring the peg was broken by birds busting over the cliff.
No, near it.
If the drive before gave us too much time, this one didn't give us enough.
It does help that we're no longer down in like hell. Oh, I'll have some of that action.
You had to be on your toes, ready to get on and make a move. And me being on edge was taken full advantage of by Tom and Ollie.
Got him. And just for that, I don't like you anymore.
Got gun closure and everything.
We've spoken about it about a dozen times, but I've never seen a game bird, especially any partridge in the world, take shot like these take. I really like this. I know I've said it before, but now we're back in the realms of ballistic reality.
Shot it bloody well.
Worth facing it, right? It's not a real boss.
No.
But I can afford one of these, and it shoots unbelievably. Yeah, you've done a really good job, you know. It's all well too easy to make a game gun that looks good and handles like an absolute dog.
Yeah.
But that weight is, oh, it's got a shock cam on it. I don't know what I tried to do. I was like, that's not where it was before.
I wasn't going to say anything, but...
All right, I'm a bit idiot. We'll have a look at it tomorrow. I think probably I needed this. For now, we've got another drive.
Yeah.
You're up to start.
No pressure.
I'm not going to do better than I did on those last few birds.
No, now you're going to make me look terrible.
We walked on down to the last drive of the day. Volcano.
Let me show you these birds. Have a look at the breast meat on there. You cannot feel the keel bone for the muscles, and the muscles start up here and they're almost as long, I'd say, it's like a hen pheasant. Just a proper dense muscle bag, and it's actually one of the smaller ones. You can feel that. It's like the weight of a, I don't know, a big juicy cockbird. Proper like heavy, it's a proper handful. And that's the muscle that flies them as hard as they can and takes the shot the way they do. It's a proper impressive bird. Of all the game birds in the world, like I said, it's top 3. Right, we have come a long way down from that last drive.
This is where some of the back guns were stood for camp.
Yeah,
So
look
these-
pretty special.
Yeah, quite something. So these are shot as a return drive. Camp comes in and then we return volcano.
To be fair, those birds were still pretty spectacular up the top.
It was evident from the ground that this was going to be a special drive.
From this side, with the sun in our face, it's going to be a bit more of a challenge.
Yeah, undoubtedly it's going to make things on our left-hand shoulder definitely trickier.
I mean, the birds do lend themselves to wild drives, like pretty different drives, because I don't think you could push Redlegs off the top of there to the top of there without having our guns start where we started.
Yeah, unlike anything we see back home.
And as the first pack of partridge burst over the horizon, our reaction said it all.
It is as well.
Oh my God.
Holy Jesus. It's yours. Oh, Peachey's actually just shot quite well. First time for everything.
Not sure we got it on camera there, did we?
First and last. Look up.
The sky was soon specked with distant birds once again, and Ollie put all of our shooting to shame, dropping crosser after crosser over his right shoulder.
Oh, nicely done. Oh, go. Show me again.
Before handing the gun to me. Ahead of us, halfway up the bank, was the front row of guns, and as the drive progressed, congratulatory whoops flew back and forth between these lines. As some of the most impressive partridges I have seen shot fell from the sky.
That ain't 3 then.
Volcano really was a drive to remember. From the birds, to the terrain, to the people. Finishing this day up, it was hard to imagine that we would have all of the same again tomorrow. And as we supped on a well-earned beer, we all discussed our various plans for the night. After my British attire had cooked me all day, my plan was to head to the Medina to buy some new clothes. I thought I would embrace a little of the Maghrebi culture and find something a little more fitting. This sort of exploration and silliness is such an important part of travelling to hunt for me.
Embracing the culture.
Actually, just you hold up it's quite short.
Mate, it looks good though.
It looked really long. That's why I realised most of us are just straight off a hanger because it's got about 500. I mean, Christ, I'm not fit.
Perfect fit.
It's not bad actually.
And donned in my new garb, we headed into El Koudia.
Yesterday was a pretty exceptional day. Some of those drives and some of those birds will stick with me forever. I'm looking forward to another day of it today. We've come a bit better prepared. Stopped in the souk, got myself a nice linen collarless shirt and got myself some linen trousers that I've converted into some kind of breek affair because actually it was warm. It's a little chilly in the mornings. Well, I say a little chilly, what's it, about 8-9 degrees, but it got up to mid-20s yesterday. I really do love being in this environment, actually just taking a moment to take it in and look at some of the environment, get close to the floor and see that actually, as I said, there is life everywhere here. It's just not that lush green British thing that we're used to. I suppose all we can do today is try and learn from the mistakes of yesterday. Try not to be heroic because when these birds are going and they're big, they are some of the hardest things in the world. Perhaps take on a few of the birds that we're more likely to hit. The sun's rising, the day's heating up. I'm raring to go, let's grab a coffee.
We sipped on a coffee and enjoyed our second chance to take in this incredible view. This place really is something else. Heading into the first drive, I didn't know what to expect with a huge valley ahead of us. As soon as we arrived, a few feral pigeons took off from the valley head. They were incredibly high, but worth a punt.
It's down! I would like that. Merci Serge. It's my big pigeon. Oh, it's quite a small pigeon actually. This is a wild place and it has been an all-round wild experience, right? This is Africa. It's North Africa, but it is still Africa. And so it's got like a freedom to being here. And if you've never been to Africa, with or without a gun, I would recommend it. And Morocco's not a bad place to start, right? It's relatively European, it's extremely safe, and yet is a culture that is very different to our own. There's not a world in which I do not want to try this again. We've been so blessed over the years to have some experiences. But in terms of game shooting, this is well up there. And like all the wildlife around here, and my experience when I was here in Morocco is because this country is a little drier and a little harder and a little harder farmed, you know, it's a little bit more taken from the environment. When you produce water and food, I don't know if the mic will pick it up, but the bird song in this valley is incredible. Without the supplementary feeding and predator control, there is no reason for these little dudes to be here. They say you don't appreciate the busy drives until you've had a quieter one. And we had a couple of dozen birds over the line, but high left and high right. Honestly, I got my big pigeon.
Well, at least it shows it's authentic, real.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to sort of learning a bit more about how this place is run for you in a sec, but it's not a foregone conclusion.
Great shame. First time I've seen that. It's never nice to hear, but they did 300 and something odd shells off it last time. So good chance something's been through it, pack of dogs or similar last night.
So that obviously didn't go to plan. Not quite enough birds to make these guys happy, so they've scratched the day and we're starting again. So we're still on peg 4, completely new drive, driven game shooting when the birds are wilded properly. Can go wrong, it's just the way that it goes. If the birds aren't where you think they are and haven't been where they want to be, especially in an environment like this where they're already bringing in so much ground. But also in a commercial aspect, it's how those things are dealt with when they go wrong. And without a shadow of a second, they said, all right, we're starting again, new drive, we're adding a drive in, let's go. For me, it's unnecessary, right? We had a great day yesterday, we'll catch up with them at some point today, but it's reassuring, it's reassuring. Oh, I bet. Proper over the toppers. This drive's different again, and every drive has a very different flavour. Now we're tucked in the bottom of a proper dry valley. We walked all the way up in, proper nice green trees on either side. The birds are coming from all around the top of this bowl arc. Where we met this morning is at the top here, and they've brought the entire of either valley side round, swept the background in front of us. I mean, and so far we've seen now more birds than we saw on the last drive, so let's get in the zone. They're on top of you so fast, but you still have to keep your hands slow, because actually by the time you're in this angle, the movement isn't crazy. The leads aren't monstrous, but they have to be quite measured. It's a very different thing, and this is a little bit straighter and simpler than yesterday. But also when you see those crosses, they are plummeting out the sky, so they're gaining speed as they go. There's more coming. Oh, I was all calm walking in nice steady hands, but it's amazing how quick you get lost in the moment when the birds are coming off the top of a Moroccan mountain. A hell of a lot of shooting. With the crosser you can measure lead, and what's interesting here, and I'm looking forward to seeing the shot cam of it, is I'd shoot one and kill it, and then I'd do exactly the same with the next, but then actually realise it's going twice the speed, and just reading anything that's going on here, from line to lead. I got a shout from behind saying shoot them earlier, but actually I'm connecting with them at 45 degrees, but by the time I've made a move, they're big, but then the lead doesn't require much speed of hands because you can easily then pull in front of them. Some of the most challenging driven birds I've shot in a while. They take a lot to put shot on, read them, and then bring them down. Oh, what a combo. All right, I think I'm gonna grab Ollie and have a lesson in how to do this properly.
For the third drive, we had to head all the way around the estate, stopping for a quick snack and a bottle of water before the third drive.
Ollie, you're going to show me how it's done, yeah?
I'm going to do something. I'm not sure what it's going to look like, but
this place is pretty mega. Like, how did you find it? From what we found on the first drive, it is authentic, right? There's no boxes up there.
No, it's absolutely authentic. As a sporting agent, I'd probably rather that everything was a bit more controllable. But you know, it's shooting, and that's part of the magic of it, I think, personally.
And generally here, it's this 2-day affair.
Yeah, correct. Either with a phenomenal private villa, or because there's a great variety in what people are looking for in terms of accommodation. You know, whether they're with their families, whether they are wanting to stay in some of the incredible hotels, etc. So there's an option just to take the 2 days, 2,500 shells across the 2 days, or up to 500 partridge. So,
value for money in terms of the quality of the birds and the experience. I mean, just look around.
Yeah. We were really lucky. There's 3 partners, Mr. Fawcett, a very gentlemanly Englishman, Serge, a Frenchman, and Samir, who's a local Moroccan. I think where we're incredibly fortunate is the proximity to Marrakesh itself. You know, Marrakesh has become such a destination city. The husbands who typically are the ones shooting, they obviously have to
just go and enjoy
well,
themselves.
exactly. They have to make their wives aware of their time away, and it's much easier to get them on side if they can come and stay at, you know, one of the wonderful private villas or La Mamounia, Royal Mansoir. You know, there's not a lot to complain about. It's cool.
It's an interesting city, more importantly.
You know, where else can you go that's 3 hours from, or 3.5 hours from London, that is so different?
Ollie handled these birds fantastically. Just stood behind him watching them starburst when they saw the guns was something special to behold.
You're pretty good, aren't you?
But
You're pretty
I
good.
don't get too much of it, that's the problem. When they come over that crest all packed up like a pack of grouse.
And then just go,
And then they go,
like
"What?"
English,
They
starburst.
see the line and they think, ooh.
Lovely, mate. Nice. Stick with what I said, but you are good. And these are some serious birds. You said this is a new drive.
This is a new drive, yeah, absolutely. With the intention of creating something a little bit more straightforward, but
Really hasn't worked out that way, has it?
that's not quite gone to plan.
I guess the beauty of this terrain, right, is you could happily go, all right, you're not fixed to one thing. You go, all right, well, let's just budget up 50 yards and push
Correct.
it from a different point.
Absolutely. Second one.
But I'm happy with 1 out of 2. That's 50 cents
was very
success,
good.
mate.
Wow.
That was real impressive. I mean, it was a hell of a drive.
Awesome drive.
Well shot again, very well shot. And you've given me this for the last 2 shots, so I have to carry it back, right?
Yeah, exactly.
As we headed back for a short 11s, we passed the beaters, making sure to say thank you for their hard work in making all of this a reality. At home, it's easy to turn up, shoot, and leave. But to get to spend this amount of time somewhere really heightens your appreciation of the experience. Bluntly put, you shoot enough birds to allow you to worry less about the next bird. The back-to-back day concept really does allow you to slow down and take it all in. With lunch done, our experience was to come to an end with 2 drives called Flick and Flack.
Now, this is quite an impressive thing. It looks really big from there, and now we're halfway. It's really hard to read this terrain.
How far do you reckon the top of that is?
Honestly, it could be 40 yards,
Yeah.
it could be 200 yards. So I would say 130.
Yeah.
But unless you put a roe deer on the top or a fox,
It's pretty hard to...
it's pretty hard to tell. What we've learned so far, slow hands. These birds are fast, but
Yeah.
they change so quickly, you don't want to be just starting behind and ripping through.
Definitely. And I would suggest hanging on behind them for a little bit longer. Tends to help find that line, I reckon.
This really has been a wonderful experience, mate.
Oh, well, I'm
You
delighted.
undersold it significantly.
Expectation management, it always makes things a bit easier on the ground.
That's off. Left and right, yeah. And again.
Well done.
There we go. Back.
As the drive started, the 2 days worth of learning finally came together.
That was a good old do.
That was pretty impressive.
We'll take it, and then to follow it with another. I'll take the other miss, but that's by the by.
Every drive here had been so different.
Bunting.
No way.
Right.
In front?
Yep. I think I'd be claiming that.
Ollie is actually a good little charm. It's not a talent thing, he's just clearly like got luck of the... Are you Irish? Where are you from?
Yeah, quarter. I think that's out of shot, but worth a go.
That is an actual very fit. I mean, that's a 150-yard pigeon. Now, I'm feeling ambitious. I don't think with all the will of the world, without a 2-4-3, you'd be a bit broken with that one. Left.
As the drive came to an end, we stopped Les the gamekeeper to ask some questions and thank him for his hard work before heading over the track to Flack, the last peg of the day.
Les, mate, that was spectacular. This is one of the signature drives, it's fair to say.
Yeah, it's one of them, yeah. We've probably got several on here like this.
And you've got a few lower drives for those who perhaps don't want to just feel roughly humiliated.
We've got a few.
A few.
Not many.
This is it. We're looking at
working on it. We're working on it.
Who's all
Next
that?
season there'll be something for everyone for sure.
Well, they're hardy little birds, to be fair. I mean, if you did this now in England with this weather, they'd just be flopping about kind of thing, you know. But,
This is it.
yeah, they seem to go for it. Doesn't
It's
bother them.
pretty epic, isn't it? You enjoying it?
Yeah, enjoying it, yeah. It's been good.
You and your team have done a proper sterling job.
Thank you.
I don't think I've ever seen a team of beaters work quite that hard.
Sharing a peg is often deemed as less worthy because you get to shoot less. But to me, an experience shared is often worth much, much more.
Thomas, it will be a pleasure to share this last drive with you. It's been an utter pleasure to share this entire experience with you. I think I was chatting to Ollie behind your back and saying that I hate to compliment you, but you have done a really, really good job.
Thanks.
A lot of the guns you designed are great. I think the Prestige has always been one of my favourites, but I think this is better. This is a much better all-rounder. I mean, some of those birds I've shot this trip with this gun have been up there with the best of my life.
Just watching on that last drive was a pleasure, and it's pleasing to see that actually the gun handles very well. It balances perfectly on the hinge pin, as we've seen. I'm very happy with it. It fills a gap in our range, it fills a gap in the market, everything I wanted it to be.
And you know, from a purely vain perspective, it does look the bollocks, doesn't it?
Yeah, as guns go, I don't think there's many prettier out there. I mean, obviously we've taken inspiration from some of the best in the trade, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's
No,
just
far from it, right? Reviewed a lot of guns. Let's
Yeah.
take a step back. I've reviewed a lot of guns.
yeah, that's fair.
There's a level which it's good.
Yeah.
And that's kind of enough. It handled everything really well. It's not broken down. It's not failed once. Reliability in these Retinis is actually way beyond anything I've ever expected since sort of ever seeing their factory. I always regarded them as a bit meh.
Yeah.
But actually, when you consider there's guns out there 40 years old of the same design without fault,
Says a lot.
I couldn't have imagined a better way to finish this trip than enjoying this drive with my friends.
Oh, yes, come on, Thomas. Come on, well in your wheelhouse.
As the sun slowly dropped behind the Atlas, drawing a line under this exceptional experience, we thought over our Moroccan experience. It's a land of vibrant culture, stunning landscapes, and of course, exceptional partridge shooting.
This has been quite an adventure, you know. I never thought I'd be stood in slacks, a collarless linen shirt shooting partridges in the foothills of the Atlas with a gang from across the world of new friends and old.
Morocco has not just offered us a hunting ground, but a sanctuary for the soul. It's everything I had imagined and more. At this point in my life, I've come to realize that the pulling of the trigger and the killing of a bird can be done anywhere. But when done in the right place, with the right equipment, surrounded by the right people, it can mean everything.
Serge, firstly, thank you very much for having me.
Well, it was a pleasure to have you all.
This journey has been a dream come true.
I think what you have here is one of the best shoots in the world. I don't say that lightly.
We had the idea of having a high quality shoot. That was the only interest we had. We didn't think about the investment, we didn't think about anything else. But we wanted to have a very good shoot.
And I'm grateful for every moment I got to spend back in this remarkable country.
It's amazing how these birds do so well here.
Yeah.
There's a really wild quality to
Exactly.
them, right, which is particularly special.
Thanks to you for joining me on this journey, and a big thanks to William Powell for making it a reality.
It was a pleasure.
I look forward to coming back one day, for sure.
We'll see you on the next adventure.
Thank you for watching TGS Outdoors. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. This channel would not be possible without the support of our amazing sponsors. They've supported the channel for a long time. We only work with people we love and whose product we trust. If you want to support the channel too, make sure you check out channel memberships. There's early access content, there's some pretty cool exclusive release content.
My view is you never want to let the bird get past you because you can't see under your gun.
And occasionally we go clay shooting together. We just appreciate your support. Even if you can't, your view is great. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.